It's Skaven, you know what we're gonna do. And look, a ticket. Versus the lads. Look at Grom. Look at the boys. Let's get it going. What do I got here? I got a bunch of clan rats, Skaven slaves, slinger slaves, 3 Warblock Jezzails, one of them the Natty Boobos, an Ikit with all his Ikit gear. My opponent on the ladder is bringing a whole lot of lads. And Grom. I was actually kind of surprised to see Grom. I was expecting more Azag. But then again, if it was Azag, I don't know. Greenskins into Skaven, yeah, it's a real tough matchup. Do like the Orc Shaman, though. I don't know. I think with Skaven, you really need to, yeah, I don't know. It's just tough, especially on this map. This map sucks. This map is so Skaven favored. It's nuts. And you'll see why in just a second. Now, I know what you're thinking. Or, not thinking, but... So, why did I send these some of the rats on top to my home objective? Well, on this map, it's really common and very good strategy to just bombard and rush your opponent's home objective to get them to focus there, while you just try to snaggle on the middle. Which is what I thought would happen. Maybe he'd have a couple Orc Boar Boys and just run me down there. So, at least I had that protected, especially with one of the Natty Boobos. Otherwise, I would have just had all of them down in the middle. And by all of them, I mean the Natty, the Warblock Jezzails. Good cast from my opponent. Gaze of Mork. And that Brass Orb, it wasn't as good as I wanted. Here comes a Feral Wyvern. Now, this is something I kind of expected. Because I guess my opponent was like, he'll never guess there's a Wyvern coming. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of did. It's between Azag and a Wyvern. Couldn't expect that. And even if it wasn't, I was also ready for a rush from some sneaky lads. So, what do we have in reserve? We have Rat Ogres, of course, for the beatdown in the mass. The ROR one, the Hope Hits Abominations. Or no, that's the Giant Monster one. I forget what these ones are called. I think, yeah, they are the Hell Pits Abominations. I'm a genius. And then we have the ROR Rattlings, or Machine Gunners. We are just mowing everything down. Eventually move up to Slingers and those Natty Boobos. My opponent is desperate, and I mean desperate to get to my backlines. We are just mowing through everything. I mean, we're not doing good on the front line, but we are doing massive damage. Wyvern's already done. And yeah, Grom is going to learn real quick why, yeah, they are rattling guns. Man, I haven't played Skaven in a long time. Jeez. I actually don't remember the last time I played Skaven. Must have been a long time ago. But you know what? I was watching one of the Turin's late night streams, and boy, did I get a feeling. Now, check this out. So, before I get on that, watch this. My opponent thinks he's slick. He thinks he's going to be able to do this with the Gates of Mork, but Rattlings will stun the shit out of you. And he learned real quick. Pretty much cost him his shaman right there. Oh, yeah, I might be a bad player, but you know what? I do catch me some. And at this point, most of his army is just gone. Okay, but yeah, like I said before, I was watching a turn stream. He was running Empire. He ran 3 Hawkland long rifles. I was like, I could do that, but with Skaven. And it's something Skaven does pretty damn well, if not better. Well, maybe not as better. We don't have heavy cap, or Skaven doesn't have heavy cap, but Rattling guns are pretty damn good defenders in my book. And you'll see why in just a sec. Wyvern lands, and it is about to get shot to shit up. It's like that scene from Star Wars where Kylo Ren's like, fire! Keep firing! And yeah, you just send the Wyvern to its grave. It's just full of holes. It's Swiss cheese at this point. And yeah, looking at the value and the score, and my build. My build is very set on giving up objective control and points for value, and then just overrun your opponent. If anything, if I were to do this build again, I'd probably lose one of the Rat Ogres in reserve to bring in more Clan Rats, because it felt like I needed more bodies. But that's for afterwards. But yeah, my opponent just keeps throwing on the heat. Finally, the first Boar Boys, but we're ready with these Jezzails. And if you can't shut down Jezzails as any faction, up against Skaven, you're pretty much going to be doomed. 3 Jezzails will shut down any unit you come throwing. And my plan was to use the Jezzails mainly to hit his arrows. But then I thought, well, 4 Slingers might be able to trade into Goblins pretty well. And Jezzails will hit anything that's Orc related. And even then, Slingers will still do pretty well. And on top of that, Ikit's just a monster, so he can just clear up the front line like he does all the time against me. Like, I played against Skaven so many times, I'm like, I don't even have to play Skaven enough to know how to play Ikit at this point. It's so rudimentary. Run in there with Ikit, get surrounded, Brass Orb, Fleshing Ruin. Sorry, I got something in my teeth. Yeah, that or Warp Lightning. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty easy. Speaking of easy, I think we're gonna get his caster next again, and maybe get Grom while we're at it. Yeah, I just don't know how Greenskins really deal with this, even with the new tools. I was expecting things like Mangler Squigs. Mangler Squigs could be interesting, but excuse me, running them into Skaven slaves might not be as efficient, especially against Warblock Jezzails. And yeah, like, you can't go wide because it just ruins your front line, especially on this map. You could rush, but on this map it can be tough. You could have to try to do the side points and force, yeah, you'd have to do the side points to make sure they can't get shots on the cliffs. That could be a way, just stuff them in the deployment zone and call it a day. Just mass boar boys. I would just do mass boar boys, yeah. Mass boar boys and skirmish cav and call it a day. Even then, that's not guaranteed because you still have to chew through a bunch of Skaven slaves. And then the Netty Boobos. And speaking of Netty Boobos and the Warblock Jezzails, Grom is gonna get it. Oh, excuse me. A lump in my throat. Oh, Grom. Last 3 shots. Ooh, and he's done. So how are we gonna deal with the rest of these armies? Got a bunch of boys coming in. And how nasty can we make it? 1 Flensing Ruin, and I think that'll do. And 1 hit from Ikit should do it. I think that's going to be the rest of the army. He's got some Spider Riders, he's got some stuff, but we got the Council Guard, we still got Rattling Gunners, Ogres. Yeah, my opponent taps out. He sees the riding. GG's opponent, GG's. So yeah, no surprise, Ikit does very well. Jezzails probably did most of the work. My Slingers didn't actually do too bad. Most of them pay for themselves. Yeah, Netty Boobos didn't do as great. Rattling Gunners probably paid for themselves. And as for my opponent, I think the only thing that did well was the Pump Wagons into my backline. Everything else got rocked, which makes sense. I didn't really let anything in. My defense was on point. So yeah, I think that's about it. Well, guys, we're at the end of the video. If you liked it, please like, sub, follow me here on YouTube. We're on the road to 2,000. Greatly appreciate it. Come join the Discord to come see me on stream, whether it's to show some love or get a game in. Whatever the game is at the moment. Warhammer 3 or whatever I feel at the moment. You always try to mix it up. Alright, folks, with all that said, y'all have a good one. Peace, and goodbye for now.